Hey everyone, today I am going to give you the top 5 apps that you absolutely need when coming to Bali. So they're going to save you time, money, and they're just going to make your trip that much easier. So the first app is called Grab, and there's another app called Gojek. I put these into the same category of transportation and food. It's like the Uber and Uber Eats in Bali. So I recommend downloading both Grab and Gojek, as sometimes one is cheaper than the other. Usually Gojek is the cheaper option, and Grab you can find a bit more selections and sometimes maybe find a driver faster. So it's worth checking both. Just like in the US, we will check Uber and Lyft, the two competitors. And for food, sometimes we will check, for example, Grubhub and Uber Eats, and just see what's cheaper or what has more options for us. So for Grab and Gojek both, I use it for transportation. Either I get on the back of a motorbike, which is the cheapest option to get anywhere. And as long as you're not going extremely far, that's always the best move. Even sometimes going, for example, from Canggu to Uluwatu, it's maybe over an hour. It can still be worth taking a motorbike, a Go bike or a Grab bike instead of a car, because it's just maybe a quarter of the price or even cheaper. Some people are afraid, and it can be dangerous. The roads are dangerous here, but typically the drivers are really good, and you don't have too much to worry about other than, something random happening. So maybe limit your use of it. Don't use it every single time for super long distances, but for budget people, it's the option. Then they both have car options as well. Taxi, a big car if you have maybe a ton of luggage. And you can also use an option to send packages, send your luggage somewhere. So what I like to do is I rent a motorbike here, and if I'm traveling somewhere and I have a ton of luggage, I will just use the GoSend function, pay maybe $5 and send all of my luggage to the destination 2 hours away. And I will drive my own motorbike there and meet them there. So this is a great option. And besides transportation, both of them are also the platform to get your food delivered. I don't think one is better than the other. Usually I will just check the options in the area on both apps and either look for that specific restaurant, or I will just search in a category or see what's hot, best sellers. Both are really good. The delivery fees are super cheap, especially compared to the US, UK, Australia, Canada. Very cheap. Usually you will pay $1 to $2 fee for the whole delivery order as a fee. So highly recommended. Still better to go out and get the food if you can, and just pick it up or go eat somewhere. But for those times where you just want to stay in your place, maybe you're feeling lazy or whatever it is, it's a really good option. Okay, the second app you're going to want to get is WhatsApp. A lot of people are already familiar with this for communicating overseas, or there's a lot of countries in Europe and other places that use WhatsApp as well. We don't really use it in the US so much, unless we want to communicate with people outside of the US. But that's what everyone in Bali is using. So download WhatsApp, sign up, attach your number to it, and then you'll easily have a QR code you can scan with other people, or you can just give them your number and they can easily add you and communicate just like text. You can also call, video call. You can do this over Wi-Fi, so a lot of people don't necessarily have a SIM card right off the bat, and so it's a great way to get in touch with people over Wi-Fi when you first arrive, or before you get a SIM card. Now, when it comes to like international plans, It's usually not the move. If you have an international plan in the US, it's going to cost you $150 a month, $200 a month typically to use that overseas. So typically you go get a local SIM card as long as you have an unlocked phone. It's usually even better to just go buy an unlocked phone and grab a local SIM card if you're here for a while, and just use WhatsApp. It's easy. People use this from every country, so there's so many international people coming here, and typically people already have WhatsApp or they download it in order to communicate here. Besides that, a lot of restaurants, shops, pretty much any store here, they have like a live support or somebody working from the store using WhatsApp. And you can message them about product stock. You can get an item delivered directly from the store. So if you're staying in Canggu and you want to buy, say, a keyboard, or you need some type of electronic and it's not so easy to get, go into Google and search for that item in a major area like Denpasar. That's where you can get anything, clothes, any type of shopping, and just reach out on WhatsApp and say, hey, I'm in Canggu, I'd like to get this item delivered. It's quite easy. And so I've done that quite a bit, and also seeing if somewhere has something in stock, or if a certain menu item at a restaurant has a certain ingredient in it or an allergen. You can just send them a live message. You know, this is something that's actually lacking in like the US. We can't really do that, and so you always have to call. Sometimes it's harder to reach them, so yeah, for me that's been a really nice plus. The third app you absolutely need to have, Google Translate. You probably used this service before, but you may not actually have the app. So it's very common. You're going to go somewhere, you're going to ask for something, and it's not going to be understood completely. It's going to be some misunderstandings, and it's nice in those moments to be able to just say, one moment, pull out the phone, type it in, and you can see right away when you translate it English to Indonesian and show them, there's an instant, it clicks. There's an understanding, you know. And sometimes you just can't get there trying to simplify the English or something like that. So really nice to have. You'll notice a lot of people here, a lot of the locals will use it. If they can't get something across to you, they will pull out their phone and they'll show you. So it's nice to have as well. I use it almost every day on at least one instance where I think I'm trying to shop for something, or you know, maybe my Airbnb host, I'm trying to communicate something. And so not even just in person, but sometimes you want to text. It just makes it that much easier to write this big paragraph of something you want to communicate and translate it. And it works really well. I mean, it doesn't come across like you maybe wrote it exactly yourself, but sometimes you would never know. It just looks like maybe you speak the language, but a little bit broken. So I find it's really accurate, and almost always it can get across what you need to say. So highly recommended, Google Translate. Another must-have app, number 4, is Agoda. Agoda is essentially like Booking.com, Expedia, any of these websites to book hotels, accommodations. It's just the more widely used one in Asia, in Bali. And definitely the cheapest, the best price. You'll find the same accommodation on several different websites, and Agoda will be the cheapest. Not only that, but if you use the mobile app, you get an additional discount, and it's pretty substantial. So highly recommended. Always use the Agoda app, not the website. Now, alternatively for accommodations, Airbnb is a great move as well. Sometimes you can find, since these are accommodations that are not typically on Agoda or Booking, you'll find people renting their place or just unique places on Airbnb. And so get the Airbnb app as well. I'm making a video that will tell you how to get 30-40% off of your Airbnbs. And I use this consistently in every country. with every Airbnb I get. And you can get something down from $100 a night, oftentimes to $50 a night, $60 a night, quite easily. So download the Airbnb app. You want to have messaging there. You want to get notifications. And this is going to help you just with the bookings in general, or with the technique that I use to get the discounts. I typically find I use Airbnb like 80% of the time. I can usually find a cheaper accommodation with a higher quality of living than stuff on Agoda and Booking. I think more people tend to just default to these booking websites because maybe it's easier, maybe it's quick, you can just secure it with your credit card instantly, and you don't need to ever message anybody. You don't need to worry about much, but you pay the price for that, pay a little bit more, and you're probably going to get a little bit less for your money, a little lesser of an accommodation. So I also find sometimes with sites like Agoda and Booking, the support is not great. And so if you have an issue, you can't get into the unit, something happens and it's canceled, to actually get your money back is not always easy. And sometimes you're waiting weeks or you don't get the money back. So for that reason, I like Airbnb. I've had very good customer service with them. Anytime something went wrong, especially if the host faulted me in some way, they're very willing to listen and help you out. So highly recommended Airbnb over the booking websites, and try and maintain a good reputation there. Don't do anything stupid, because Airbnb is also very good when it comes to helping the host out if you do something wrong. Don't take people's belongings, don't damage the home. If something happens, just be honest with the host. Tell them what happened. Don't be afraid to tell the host if you have a problem with something, if you have an allergy, if you have, something's wrong with the linens, there's no towels. Just speak up to them, and almost always they're quite willing to help you out. So yeah, app number 4, it's a must. Agoda and Airbnb. App number 5, Google Maps. This one is very important. Whether you're getting around by walking, bike, car, it's essential. Almost every country, this is unanimously the best app, right? The best map app. Now, sometimes people use Waze. Waze is another good one. For me, I find in Bali, typically anywhere in Southeast Asia, Google Maps is going to be your best bet. There's a motorbike option on there, so if you are renting a motorbike, which I do recommend, you can use it to find little shortcuts and much quicker ways to get around than, cars, where cars need to go. So also for walking, very important. Walking can be a bit dangerous here, and sometimes there's not sidewalks, so you still need to use your best judgment when walking around, but Maps is going to help you for that. So yeah, it's good to have. And not only that, it's also very helpful for discovering new places, new cafes, new restaurants. You can easily open up Google Maps and search restaurants near me. You can search Italian food near me, and it's going to show you, by rating, it's going to show you reviews for some of the best places near you. And so it's really helpful. Sometimes I'm on my bike and I need gas, and so I will type in fuel near me, fuel stations, and it will show you the most nearby fuel station. You can press start and it will show you how to get there as well. So multi-purpose, very useful, to the point that I actually wouldn't know what to do without it. I wouldn't really be able to properly get around Bali. So I'd say that that's the number 1 lifesaver app for me, Google Maps. It comes with a lot of phones. Any Android phone is going to come with Google Maps. The iPhone by default is just the default Maps program. So you're gonna have to download Google Maps if you have an Apple phone, which I do as well. So a lot of people don't really think about it, and they just kind of use the default Maps app, and it's just not up to par, especially in Bali. It's slower, the routes are not as good, and it's definitely not as good for, you know, typing things in and getting reviews, stuff like that. So yeah, very important. Google Maps, it will make your trip much easier. Now I'm going to give you 2 bonus apps that aren't maybe essential, but I think are incredible apps in Bali, and really help me as well. So the first one is Tokopedia. Tokopedia is sort of like the Amazon here in Bali. It's a little bit different because you're strictly buying from sellers. It's not coming from an Amazon warehouse majority of the time. But there is no Amazon here, you know, not in the same way. You can't get stuff in 1, 2, 3 days. So Tokopedia is what everyone uses. And there's an app, you can use it in English, and most people don't have a bank account here in Indonesia, so they do make it easy to go to a local convenience store, Circle K, or a store like this, and kind of top up your account or just pay for a single transaction. So it'll give you a little number, and you'll write that down, put it in your phone, you know, bring that to the store and show them at the counter, tell them you're paying for a Tokopedia order, and give them the money, and that's it. You know, it's immediately connected to the platform, and it will say paid, and then the seller either will ship the item to you, or they have sort of local services where sometimes if it's in Denpasar or somewhere not so far, they will deliver it on hand that day. So I've done this a few times now where I got things shipped and it arrived within 2 or 3 days from Jakarta. I've also done this where they delivered things the same day from Denpasar through Tokopedia. So I recommend first trying WhatsApp if it's a nearby place and see if they will just deliver it for you. But this takes away the option to pay at a local convenience store. Certain stores will let you pay cash to the Gojek driver and you get your item, and then the Gojek driver goes back and gives them the cash. But I find a lot don't offer this. And so, yeah, Tokopedia is really good for getting those, whatever you need that you can't get here, specialty products, again, like electronics. A lot of times it just can be difficult to find here. So yeah, highly recommended. Food items as well. It's like specialty foods and certain things like that. Especially if you find you're here for a longer period of time, Tokopedia will become your best friend. Now, the bonus app number 2, final app in our list, Tinder. If you're single and you're traveling around or you're living here, you know, there's a lot of people coming in day to day, new people. There are a lot of expats here living here. Traveling can be a lonely thing, or moving overseas can be, lonely. So sometimes it can be difficult as well to meet people in person, make friends, date. Now, I think it's always better to go out and meet people in person. It's usually a nicer experience, feels good. But it doesn't mean I don't like to also use Tinder and open up some new doors. It gives you an exposure to more people and gives you more of a chance to find somebody that you click with. So I find here in Canggu specifically, it's going to be the most popular. You know, it's the most people coming in and out, the most expats, most people living here from overseas. So yeah, it works really well. There is all different types of people as well. You can meet locals, you can meet foreigners, you can meet people who are more traditional, people who are not so traditional, and you can really filter by what you're looking for. So yeah, I find they've just been getting better, developing the app, figuring out how to connect you with people that are more compatible. And I've had some of the most success with the app in Bali compared to other places. So highly recommended. You know, I think a lot of people will tend to immediately want to ignore it or shun it. Hold on, so loud. Hello. Yeah, people who are either just used to traditional forms of dating, meeting people outside, or they just feel some, you know, maybe there will be some judgment if they met their significant other on Tinder, or, you know, just if they tell somebody they met somebody on Tinder. I don't think you should think like this. You know, I think it doesn't really matter where you met the person. You know, if you meet the person, you click, you like each other, and this might be even just as friends. You know, I've also made friends from Tinder that I, you know, didn't go on to have any sort of additional relations with, and that's also nice. You know, I've had pretty much all positive experiences with it, so I can only recommend it from my own experience. A lot of my friends as well have a lot of positive experiences. Some of them met their significant other on Tinder, other dating apps too, but I think if you're in Bali specifically, Tinder is going to be the one that is most widely used and it's going to give you the best results. So yeah, highly recommend it. Not essential, but if you're single, great option. That's it, folks. Those are the essential apps for Bali. Very crucial. Download them before you arrive. Get on Wi-Fi, fast speed, download them all. You want to have the Grab and Gojek when you first arrive. You know, you want to get away from the airport as cheaply as possible. Don't pay the high taxi prices. The local taxis oftentimes will scam you. They won't run the meter. They will give you a set price that is just 4 or 5 times higher than the app. And so, yeah, have it right off the bat. It's going to help you. You know, have Translate right off the bat in case you run into someone who doesn't speak any English quickly. Yeah, it's just going to make getting to your accommodation easier. It's going to make everything easier. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a thumbs up. Share the video with friends and family. Whoa. Don't get hit by a car as well. And yeah, I will see you in the next vlog.